Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for another Ocho and Ortiz Disney podcast. And what are we discussing on this week's podcast? Well, stay tuned to find out. Let's get this thing started. Buddy Josh, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy Dave. How are you?
I'm doing okay, can't complain. I'm surviving.
Yeah, we're alive, right?
We are alive. And I've sort of done a new little logo for us. I've been hard at work the last couple of days.
Yeah, I see that.
So if I move out of the way so people can see, it's the Ocho and Ortiz Disney podcast. So it's the shape of the mouse. And yeah, it's the shape of the mouse. And I'm going to try to fix myself because I'm too much in the light and it's glaring down at me. So I'm just going to try to fix myself a little bit here.
Situate yourself a little better there.
Yeah, I might have to hold the mic tonight just to get out of the light a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. Anyway,
are you using a different mic than usual?
No, I'm using the same mic. I just have a different setup. I'm using like a stand like we would use for the
when we do the live recording. Yeah.
Whereas normally I have like a huge setup that's attached to the side of the desk.
Sounds legit.
But whenever I was using that, the microphone was always coming into frame, and I'm trying to avoid the microphone coming into frame.
Yeah. No, I remember seeing it when it was in frame, and it looked professional.
It did look professional. The videos still don't look professional, but I'm working on that.
It's a work in progress.
It is
right?
a work in progress. But, so good news. This is episode 7. We finally have some things situated. We finally got our Twitter up and running. So You can follow us on Twitter at
look at all that.
Ocho Ortiz Disney. Of course, you can still find us on Facebook and Instagram at Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod for both of those. Unfortunately, I couldn't use that for Twitter because it was too long of a handle. They only let you use 15 characters for Twitter. So had to do Ocho Ortiz Disney. I was trying to keep it uniformed. Unfortunately, I couldn't. You can find us on most major podcasts and platforms. So we are available on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and of course our main source of uploading is Podbean, Ocho and Ortiz DisneyPod.podbean.com. But as of what we are doing today, we are reviewing one of the movies that ignited the Disney Renaissance in the late 80s. We are going to be looking at Disney's The Little Mermaid. This was Josh's pick, so I'm going to rely on Josh to do most of the review. I did watch this earlier today before we recorded this podcast, but I didn't take any notes down like I normally do. So Josh, without any further ado, get us started on The Little Mermaid.
All right. Yeah. So, I chose this because, like you said, it's the start of the Disney Renaissance. I had a couple of different things going through my head of what I wanted to do for this week's show. And, I ran them by you, and I'll talk to you about one of them later on. But yeah, The Little Mermaid, 1989 came out. This was the start of when they brought in Alan Menken to start doing all the music for them. And so this is where I'm pretty sure he won Oscars for this one. And then he went on to do the music for Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame. And he won Oscars for almost all those movies. So that was pretty cool.
And the music in this is really, really phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. With the first song, which is, well, not even the first song, but the music in this is great. Watching it just makes me, especially when I got to Part of Your World, it just it hits me. I'm like, man, I'm really missing Disney World right now. Like, I'm really missing it. And, you know, like, we're recording this on the 10th, right? And it's like, it's late at night. It's 11 o'clock. But, you know, I just saw something on Facebook right before we came on that Shanghai Disney is officially open because, you know, they're ahead of us, right?
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. But I do just want to point out, because you were talking about Alan Menken. So he was nominated for 3 Oscars for Little Mermaid. 2 of those were in the Best Music Original Song category, so he was automatically going to lose one of those. So he was nominated for Best Music Original Song for Kiss the Girl and Under the Sea. Under the Sea ended up winning, and he also ended up getting the Oscar for Best Music Original Score.
Yeah. Like, this was just... Well, I mean, like, the songs, rewatching it, this movie is just, like, the nostalgia, right? I don't know if it's the same for you as it hit me. I'm just like, oh, my God, I haven't seen this movie in, like, 10 years.
Oh, it's been longer for me. Like, the last time I watched The Little Mermaid, like I said, I was probably still in, like, kindergarten and daycare. So it's been, like, since maybe the early 90s, like, maybe 90... Well, I guess I wouldn't have been in kindergarten, but because it probably would have been about 90, 91 when I last saw it, maybe 92. So I would have been like around 5, 6, 7 at that point. But still, it's been a really, really long time since I've watched this movie.
Yeah, no, but it was great. I loved it. I loved rewatching it, right? I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, it was definitely good. I did enjoy the rewatching of it. I mean, I forgot how much I actually did enjoy the songs in that movie.
Yeah.
The songs are just so well done. So, I mean, for me, that's the thing that really brought me back was the
songs.
Was the songs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said before, Part of Your World, you mentioned it, Kiss the Girl, Under the Sea, like those are classics, right?
Yeah. I mean, even Poor Unfortunate Soul, which before this whole COVID thing came down, I heard every single day at work because we have I'm not going to give away where I work, but we have a very extensive playlist of Disney music. And so I heard Poor Unfortunate Soul pretty much every day before I had this temporary layoff. So it was kind of nice not hearing it for a while.
But was it the Ariel, not Ariel, the Little Mermaid version, or was it like the Jonas Brothers version?
No. It's like it's the movie version. All the songs that we have are like the movie versions.
Oh, so do you have a lot of descendants that play there? Is that why?
No, we don't have Disney Original Channel, thank Christ. It's just the animated films.
Come on. You're telling me you wouldn't love to hear like a Rotten to the Core?
No, I would not. Day? I'm telling you straight up, I would absolutely not enjoy hearing that.
Okay, come on. How about a little what's it called? Evil Like Me. You get a little Dove and Kristen.
I can handle that song not 3 times a day every day.
That's fair. I mean, I could do it, but I'm just, I'm different. I'm crazy.
Crazy is one word to describe it.
What else would you say?
You know what? Let's not get into that, Josh. Let's just not get into that.
All right. So, Little Mermaid.
Mermaid.
Yeah. It starts off with, Sebastian is the crab. Well, actually, no, it starts off with they're on the boat with Eric, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. They start off on the boat with Eric, and then one of the fish escapes, and that's when you see them going to, under the sea. And then Sebastian has this big musical concert planned for King Triton, and, it's supposed to be his best one yet. And it's supposed to be like the introduction of Ariel because she's the youngest daughter. And
yeah, I don't quite understand the musical scene. Like, I know it's supposed to be the introduction of Ariel, but like, was it supposed to be? Because I know they mention in the movie that she's 16, but was that like her 16th birthday? Like, and that's why they were introducing her. Like, I didn't understand the complete point of the concert other than to introduce Ariel, but she's 16. So presumably people in the kingdom would have seen her before.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, they definitely know who. I think it was more of introducing her as a singer because I don't think she had done any of those concerts previous with the other sisters, right?
Okay.
So with the other six sisters, they start singing. Then they open up the shell to see Ariel, and she's not there.
Yeah, no Ariel.
No Ariel. Ariel is off with Flounder, who you can see in the background there, the little yellow fish there.
Yep.
Right beside her. She's they find a shipwreck and they start there you go.
There we go.
They find a shipwreck and they start looking through stuff and they find a fork, right? And then they take
Is it Elsa and Anna's parents' shipwreck?
Elsa and Anna.
Anna.
No, it's Anna.
No.
But yeah, so they find the fork and then there's a shark there. Shark attacks them, but they get away, and that's when they go up to the land, right? And they find the bird Scuttle because they don't know what these things are, so they go to him, ask him.
Scuttle is like the go-to to find out what all these things are. He gets everything completely wrong.
Oh, completely wrong.
But they don't know that.
It's completely wrong, but it's so funny when you look at it. What happens later on in the movie? It's like it was great. So they go and she shows Scuttle the fork and he's like, oh, this is a dingle hopper. And they use it to comb their hair.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, and what about this? And I don't remember what they called it, but it was a pipe.
Yeah. And he tried to claim it was a musical instrument. By the way, Scuttle voiced by the late, great Buddy Hackett.
Oh, sweet. That's pretty cool. But yeah. He says it's a musical instrument and he tries to blow in it and it's full of shit because it's been down in the ocean for a long time.
Seaweed and stuff.
Yeah. And as he says it's a musical instrument, she remembers, oh shit, the concert's today, I gotta go. So she grabs the fork and the pipe and her and Flounder take off. And she gets back and her dad's pretty pissed.
Yeah, that's putting it mildly. He's not a happy man.
No. He was pretty mad, and then that's when her and Flounder leave, and they go to her little cave where nobody knows about the cave because it's got all of her treasures, and that's where you get the fantastic song of "Part of Your World." I love that song. It shows everything, and there's a really cool. It's not a ride. It's called Mickey's PhilharMagic. That's in Disney World at Magic Kingdom, where it's you put on some 3D glasses and you watch a show. Basically, you go through different scenes from different movies, different songs, and that's one of them that you go through. And Donald Duck is in it, and it's really funny. So watching that, there's like, oh, I want to be there. I've actually went and watched that specific ride video on YouTube sometimes I'm going. I think my cousin said it the best. I'm going through withdrawal right now from not being there. I'm used to going every 3-4 months, and it's been November, December, January, February, March, April, May. Fucking 8 months.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, so you get that, and she said you see all the stuff she has. She has I think she has corkscrews, fucking anything and everything that gets lost in the sea. She has.
Yeah, she just collects these things and acts as if they're these
great treasures. If you want thingamabobs, she's got 20, but who cares? No big deal. She wants more. Sorry.
Yeah, not really sing-along time, Josh.
Come on. There's always sing-along time when we're talking about Disney. Be thankful I didn't sing along during Descendants. Anyways, later, then she goes up, she sees something happening up top, and it's fireworks from Prince Eric's ship.
Yes.
Actually, I think at that point, Sebastian's already watching her, isn't he?
Yeah, at that point, Sebastian... No, not at that point. It's after this, isn't it?
No, because I'm pretty sure he finds when she goes to to her little cave, right? I don't remember. Either way, she goes up and she sees the fireworks from Eric's ship, and her and Scuttle start watching.
She has a meeting with her father.
Yep.
So she has a meeting with her father, King Trident, And after the meeting, he basically tells Sebastian to keep an eye on her. So from that point on, Sebastian's pretty much following her wherever she goes. Whereas before that, she was only with Flounder.
Yeah. And then, so again, she goes up and she sees Prince Eric's boat, and, you know, she's watching him from afar, and, you know, she's 16, she's fallen in love, right? And then there's a hurricane, the boat catches on fire, Prince Eric starts to drown, and she saves him.
Yeah, and basically takes him back to shore so he doesn't drown.
Yeah, takes him back to shore, and then she kind of distances herself because, you know, her dad thinks the humans are evil and whatnot.
Yeah, that all they do is try to kill everything in the sea.
Yeah. Yeah, so then she goes back home, but, you know, she's like in love with him, you know, and her sisters can tell that something's up. And then she knows she wants to be a part of that world, obviously. And then what happens? Doesn't he makes I know that later on that's when Sebastian does a song, Under the Sea.
Well, he hears Ariel's voice initially, right? Because she's sort of hiding, but she's still sort of talking. So he recognizes her voice, but he doesn't have anything else to go on when Ariel sort of goes back under the sea. He just knows that somebody saved him, and she has like this incredible voice. And yeah, and that's when Ariel sort of starts talking about wishing that she was a human so she could be with Eric and all that. And then, like you said, Sebastian sort of breaks into song, and that's when we get Under the Sea, which is just an absolutely fun little song. And then after that, I'm trying to remember what the fuck happened.
Yeah, at the very end of the song, Flounder takes Ariel away as the song is still happening because he's got a surprise for her. He's got the Prince Eric statue.
Yes.
He's brought he has brought that to her little cave. And then King Triton starts talking with Sebastian, asking if she's been acting weird
because before that, he had been talking to his other daughters, and they basically pointed out that she's acting like she's in love. So he summons Sebastian to come talk to him because he's going to try to play it coy and find out who she's in love with. So he knows she's in love. He doesn't know that it's with a human. So Sebastian lets it slip because he thinks, based on what Trident's saying about Ariel being in love, Sebastian thinks that the king knows everything. So Sebastian just pretty much spills the beans that she's in love with a human and everything. And then that's when he gets enraged because he had no idea it was with a human. So he goes to Ariel's, wherever it is, Ariel keeps all of her treasures and stuff, and then just destroys the shit out of everything. And lastly, he destroys that statue of Prince Eric, which, you know, obviously it pisses Ariel off, and she sort of runs away. And watching this scene, honestly, it made me think of Brave, because that's basically what happened between Merida and the Queen, right? Like Merida and the Queen get in this big argument, and the Queen ends up destroying Merida's bow, and that's what causes Merida to run away. So, I mean, it had been so long since I've seen The Little Mermaid that I had forgotten about this. So it just dawned on me. I'm like, oh, okay. And then, you know, that I guess that was sort of Pixar's nice little callback to Little Mermaid when they did sort of a same type situation with Merida and her mother. But yeah, so King Trident destroys all of Ariel's stuff, including, sorry, my mic just dropped, including her prized possession, the statue of Prince Eric. And then that causes her to run off. She's confronted by a couple of eels that are like basically the servants of Ursula. And they basically tell her that Ursula has a proposition for her. Yeah.
And, you know, going back to that fight, I'm like, as I'm watching this, you know, there's always been a meme that I've seen of like where Ariel's like, you know, as a kid watching it, you're like, yeah, Ariel knows what she's doing. And then as an adult watching it, you're like, no, you're still a child. You don't know what you're talking about. But also when she's fighting with him, she's like, I love him. I'm thinking to myself, like, you haven't even talked to him. He has no idea who you are. Like you said, she goes and she sees Ursula, makes a little deal with her. The deal is that she will give her feet and, let her go walk
she'll basically turn her into a human.
Yeah.
And the end deal is that she has to get Prince Eric to kiss her in like a true love kiss sort of way within three days of Ursula making Ariel human. If she fails to get Prince Eric to do that within 3 days, then Ariel basically becomes the property of Ursula forever. And in addition to that, not only is all that on the line, but as part of the contract, basically the fee for Ursula doing this is that Ariel has to give Ursula her voice.
Yeah, so Ariel can't even talk to Eric and has to get him to fall in love with her with, no communication or talking or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in the song, Ursula basically says, well, men don't want... I'm paraphrasing here, but it's basically along the lines of, well, men aren't interested in what women have to say anyways. And there's even a line about how Ariel's got good looks, and that's all she was really going to need to get by.
Yeah. But that was, again, we just kind of skipped over that. That was where we got Poor Unfortunate Souls, the song.
Yes. Yeah.
So she goes up to, after she turns her into a human, Flounder and Sebastian float her up to the, sea level, up so, she can breathe, because now she's human, she can't breathe underwater. And they take her to shore where Prince Eric is with his dog. And the dog, I can't remember the dog's name, but the dog sees Ariel, or can smell Ariel, right? And knows, that's who saved him. So he runs over there. Ariel looks all scared, but then the dog is friendly to her. Eric shows up and asks if she's the one that saves him. She says yes, but, she nods yes because she can't talk.
Yeah.
But he's been looking for her because, he remembers the voice. And so he doesn't think that it's her because
she can't
talk.
Yeah.
But, again, still Eric takes her back to his kingdom and, gets her all good, takes care of her, and then takes her on a tour. No, he takes her on the tour the next day. When they go for dinner, that might be my favorite scene, though, is where Ariel's at the dinner table talking with Eric and I guess his butler or whatever.
Yeah, I really don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, it's like his butler or something. But the best scene there is when the chef starts fighting with Sebastian.
Yeah, and tries to cook him.
He tries to cook Sebastian, and Sebastian fights back. And it's just so funny.
Well, because at first he thought Sebastian was already dead, and then, turns out Sebastian was alive. So then he's on a mission to kill Sebastian.
Yeah, but it's so funny. I haven't seen this movie in over 10 years, and I don't remember this scene, but it's so great. I don't know about you, but I was sitting there dying. I was laughing so much.
Well, I mean, the guy that played the chef, Renee, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the last name because, trust me, I haven't been able to pronounce it forever. He used to play Ocho on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and he just passed away at the end of last year. He passed away beginning of December 2019, so R.I.P. Renee. He was in a lot of stuff. He was also in a couple of episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He was the original priest in the movie version of MASH, the original Father McCahey. So he was in a lot of stuff, and I've been a fan of his work for years. And I didn't realize until I saw the credits of this movie that he was the one that had voiced the chef.
Yeah, Chef Louis. That was so funny. And like we were saying before, as she sits down, she sees the fork. And so she starts brushing her hair with it.
Yeah.
And they just give her a weird look, so she stops. And then the butler or whatever he is, he pulls out his pipe and goes and starts smoking, and she grabs it and she takes it And he's like, "Do you want to try it?" And so she takes it and she blows it and just blows smoke all over him.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was, again, a throwback, or not throwback, but a callback to the beginning, which was made it really funny. And that's probably still my favorite scene, though, with Louis and Sebastian. That was really good. So then when they bring out the food, Sebastian is on the plate of the butler
or whoever he is, and then Ariel sees him and basically motions for him to come under her plate. So Sebastian scuttles over to Ariel's plate, and then she puts the lid on top so he remains hidden. And then when the butler goes to eat, there's like nothing there but lettuce. Yeah,
it's funny because he's like, let's eat dinner before my crabs walks away, and then looks down, and the crab is already gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. And that's also where Eric asks if she would like to see a tour of his whole like kingdom and land and everything. And she says, well, she nods yes. Yeah. The next day they go on that tour. She is just fascinated by absolutely everything.
Yeah. And it culminates in the boat ride where the song Kiss the Girl ends up playing, which originally it was Scuttles trying to help out. And he was trying to sing and could not sing worth a lick. So that's when Sebastian sort of intervened and put together like an earth-filled musical event. So he used all the creatures in the forest and the sea and everything to put together this musical number, Kiss the Girl. And then at the end of it, they're about to kiss, and then the boat tips over. And then we find out shortly thereafter that it was the eel servants of Ursula that tipped the boat over, because Ursula does not want Ariel to win this. I wouldn't call it a bet, but basically win this contract negotiation. So from here on out, Ursula is going to do everything she can to sort of prevent Ariel and Eric from actually kissing each other.
Yeah, she definitely stops that. And also, before the song starts, Eric finds out her name because he starts trying to guess her name. But then, Sebastian is right there, and he starts, her name is Ariel, and then he says Ariel. And yeah. And my favorite thing was that he's like, I think he said, I guess that's a cute name. And I'm like, you guess? Okay. All right, whatever. But yeah, so what's her name? Ursula stops all that. Then she decides she's going to stop her from this from happening. So she transforms herself into another human.
Yeah, and of course she has Ariel's voice.
Yes, she has Ariel's voice because Ariel's voice is inside the locket.
Yeah, so she uses that to end up manipulating Prince Eric.
Yeah, so she comes up top, and she calls herself Vanessa. And Prince Eric decides that he wants to marry her the next morning, or that morning. And that's where Scuttles comes into Ariel's room in the morning and says, well, congratulations, you guys did it. And her and Sebastian are like, they have no idea what the fuck is going on. So she starts to go downstairs because she thinks, all right, I'm getting married. And that's when she overhears Eric and Vanessa talking to the butler, saying they want to get married today on a boat, and that's what happens.
And then we fast forward to Vanessa in her room getting ready, looking in a mirror, and Scuttles flies by, and he sort of peers in, and he sees that it's actually Ursula's reflection coming back from the mirror. So he figures out that it's Ursula, and so he goes back to Sebastian and Ariel to tell them what's going on, to tell them that it's actually Ursula in disguise. So that's when, they go into full force to try to stop them, because they've already left on a separate boat, right? Like Prince Eric and Vanessa. So it's a mission to try to get Ariel to the boat, and then try to get Scuttles to sort of come up with a plan to sort of stop the wedding before Ariel and Sebastian can get there. So
yeah. Well, so Flounder is the one pulling Ariel to the boat. Scuttles flies ahead. He gets a whole bunch of birds and seals and sea lions and whatnot to stop the thing. At that point, Sebastian goes and gets King Triton and tells him what's been going on. And then they get to the boat. Ariel gets to the boat just in time as Vanessa gets thrown up, and the dog bites her in the ass, and that's when the necklace goes flying and breaks right at Ariel's feet as she gets there, and Ariel gets her voice back. Eric then is not entranced by Ursula anymore, and he goes over to Ariel, realizes that it was Ariel the whole time who he's been looking for, and then as he's going to kiss her, the sun goes down, so technically Ursula has won, because
and Ariel's starting to form back into a mermaid too. Like, she gets her tail back, and
she gets her tail back, and that's when Vanessa turns back into Ursula, grabs Ariel, and goes back down into the sea. When they get there, King Triton is already there, and he tries to stop Ursula, but the contract is binding and everything. And that's when he makes a deal that he will stay as her prisoner, as Ursula's prisoner, to let Ariel go. They agree. Ursula takes the crown, turns him into like a little, like, what is it, like a seaweed or something?
I don't know what it was supposed to be.
I'm going to say they look like shriveled up seaweed. And that's when Eric decides he's going to come down, and, he throws something at her and cuts Ursula. But then Ursula turns back into like this giant ass octopus.
She's got all of Trident's powers now.
Yeah, because she's got the
Trident.
Yeah, I was supposed to say.
and so she's using all these powers, and then Eric finds, I guess because when she rises up, so do like a bunch of like shipwrecks and stuff from the sea. So Eric gets on one of the ships, which is like broken in half, and he sort of steers it right into her, and like the jagged edge of the broken part of the ship, like basically like smashes right into her, and it just destroys all of her powers.
Yeah, it stabs her is what happens. She gets stabbed. I was like, holy shit, that seems a little violent for a Disney movie, someone getting stabbed, but okay.
Well, it's with a ship.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, so she got stabbed like straight through the heart. She basically dies, and then because she's destroyed all of the mer people that she had imprisoned become regular again, and so does King Triton. And Eric had already made it back to the shore by then.
Well, he had sort of washed up on shore. I don't know if he had like made it back, but and then
he was on shore.
And then there's a scene of Ariel on the rocks sort of watching over him to make sure he's okay, because he's sort of still unconscious on the shore. Like I said, he sort of just washes up there after everything happened. And then Trident sees this, or Triton.
Triton. Triton. Yeah, Triton.
Triton. And so he sees this, and he realizes that Ariel really wants to be with Eric. So he uses the powers of his trident to make her human again, so that she can be with Eric. And, he even mentions to Sebastian that one of the hardest things is going to be like letting her go and not having her around anymore. But so there's the happy ending where Ariel ends up getting to be with Eric, and they end up getting married and living happily ever after.
Yeah, they get married on the boat. Everybody's there, not just the people of Eric's kingdom, but Triton is there in the water, all the mer people, Flounder, everybody's there, and then you also get to see Sebastian fight the chef one more time on the boat.
Well, not really a fight, but the chef, Sebastian running away as the chef throws knives at him.
He just throws knives at him, and then as he's coming closer, Sebastian clips a rope, and it comes and just one of the sails or whatever just comes and smacks the chef right in the face, and he loses all his teeth. And Sebastian jumps in the water, is like, yes. Oh my god, that was awesome.
But yeah, no, fun little movie that I hadn't seen in quite a while. Obviously, you enjoyed it. What are your final thoughts on The Little Mermaid?
I thought it was great. Again, I haven't seen it in like 10 years, so it was fun to go watch it again. It still holds up, as I see why this was like the beginning of as what is considered the Disney Renaissance. It's nothing. It's never been officially announced by Disney. It's more of like a fan thing is that it's been called the Disney Renaissance, because they had some movies come out right before that which did pretty good. I think it was Aristocrats and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Well, Aristocrats would have been like fucking. Still like the 70s.
Great Mouse Detective.
Great Mouse Detective, Oliver and Company, The Black Cauldron, which doesn't get as much love as everything else that sort of came around that time period. But yeah, Mouse Detective, Black Cauldron, Oliver and Company, Little Mermaid.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit as well. So like just going off of this thing, it's like after the success of 1986 Disney animated film The Great Mouse Detective and 1988 Disney's Who Framed Roger Rabbit, The Little Mermaid is given credit for breathing life back into the art of Disney animated feature films after a string of critical or commercial failures produced by Disney dated back to the early 1970s. It is also known as the Disney Renaissance.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I thought it was great, and like it turned into a lot of good movies. And again, this is the first one that brought in Alan Menken to start this Disney Renaissance, because that's when you go into Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas, Mulan, Hunchback of Notre Dame,
Lion King.
Hercules, Lion King, you know? So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I forgot how much I actually did like this movie, and I forgot how much I knew all the words to these songs still. What about you? Oh shit! I just hit my mic.
Yeah, I noticed that. I can hear the sound of a mic dropping. What's your rating out of 10?
Oh, I give it a solid 8. It's a great movie.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'll give it a solid 7. 7.
Okay.
Let's go 7.
Okay.
You?
I enjoyed this. It didn't like the talking parts didn't really sort of keep my attention. Like I was sort of playing mobile games while they were doing the talking parts, but the songs really brought me back. Like the songs are what grabbed my attention while I was rewatching this movie. Mm-hmm. So no, it was good. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely understand how important of a movie it was to the resurrection of Disney animated films. So I think because of that, I'll give it a 7 as well.
Sweet. That's awesome. It's good. I mean, like I said, it was a good movie. It's very colorful, right? With all the different things. Like it looked really good for like a movie from 1989.
Yeah. And
a little quick thing about it too is also the budget was only like 40 million, I think it was.
That actually seems like a lot for the late 80s for an animated film. That actually seems like quite a lot.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they adjusted for inflation. I'm not sure, but just looking quickly at the Wikipedia thing, it does say the budget was 40 million and the box office is 233 million. So it definitely made more money. So, okay, let's say even if it was 40 million at its initial release was 84 million, and then 233 million in its total lifetime gross worldwide.
Nice. So yeah, it did fairly well. It did extremely well. It brought Disney back from the brink with their animated stuff. So definitely a good one. Absolutely a classic.
Yeah, no, definitely. It did spark. There was a sequel. Can't remember. I know it's Back to the Sea. Little Mermaid 2, Back to the Sea. Yeah. I don't remember when the last time I saw that one was.
I haven't watched it at all. I just know it came on my recommended on Disney Plus after I rewatched this, which, by the way, we should point out, guys, if you're not already subscribed to Disney Plus, go ahead and do it. It's really, really cheap. What is it, like $8.99 a month?
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing.
It's like, what, a little more than half of Netflix?
Yeah. Yeah, or a little less than half, because Netflix is up to like $13.99 now.
Well, a little more, right? Because it's not $9.
No, it's a little less, right? Because a little more than half, sorry, yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's a little, like I said, it's a little more than half of Netflix.
Yeah. Sorry, you're right. I got confused.
It's all good, but you get all of these classics,
and that's the thing. For so many years, people complained about like Disney Studios keeping all their classic films in the vault. Now you can access them pretty much any time thanks to Disney Plus, which, I mean, I hope to Christ they don't start doing it with Disney Plus where they put the classic animated films back in the vault. but it's Disney, so you never know. So absolutely subscribe to Disney Plus now, so you can watch these classic films while Disney still has them around. Yeah, $8.99. It's nothing, guys. It's a drop in the hat. Even in rough times like we're in right now, like I'll gladly spend $8.99 to get lost in Disney for a couple of hours. So yeah, I mean, we're not sponsored by Disney Plus, maybe eventually, but we're not sponsored by Disney Plus yet. Again, you can find all of our social medias, Facebook and Instagram. It's Ocho and Ortiz Disney Pod. For Twitter, it's at Ocho Ortiz Disney. And you can find us on YouTube, because we do videos for this. You can find us on YouTube. Just search for Ocho and Ortiz Disney Podcast on YouTube. But we're at 50 minutes, so we're going to wrap it up. Josh, is there any final words you want to say?
No, thanks for listening to this. This is a lot of fun doing these Disney ones. We will be back soon.
Yeah.
Get Disney Plus.
Yeah, and as always, guys, whether you're listening to this in the morning, the afternoon, the evening, whatever time of day it is, where you are, when you're listening, we thank you for listening. We appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.